don't think I have ever been this excited for a Pokemon game in my entire life. Don't get me wrong, I have loved every single Pokemon game I have ever played, but this one just feels different in the best way. This game is going to be fully open world. They've changed up the way you do not only trainer battles, but also battling in the wild. Like in this game, the only way you can do a trainer battle is if you walk up to someone and click on them. No more hiding away so you're not in eyesight. You can make sandwiches with questionable fillings and pet your Pokemon. And the multiplayer is unlike anything we've ever seen in a Pokemon game. And on top of all of this, there's more customization options for your character than we have ever seen before. So your Pokemon character can finally actually look like yourself. And the story is finally something more than just finishing every gym. And the best part is, this game honestly looks so much fun. This game is a clear sign that the Pokemon Company are trying something different, and I love the new direction they're going in. And I cannot wait till Friday to get my hands on the game. Oh, and by the way, let me know in the comments down below, which starter Pokemon are you picking? I am Team Sprigatito. I mean, it's pretty obvious considering. I sincerely hope that he remains on 4 legs though, because I will not be happy if at any point during evolution he gets up on 2. They did us dirty with Litten. I did not like it. Anyway, today we're going to go through absolutely everything you need to know about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet ahead of the release date on Friday, and why you might want to get the game sooner rather than later. And I'm going to be keeping this video spoiler free. Apart from a few bits at the end about how multiplayer works, everything I'm going to talk to you about today's video has either been shown on the videos on the Pokemon channel or on the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet website. So if you like remaining spoiler free, you are safe here. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet releases Friday the 18th of November at midnight in your local time zone. And if you pre-order the game digitally right now, you can already download it so it's ready to go at midnight. But if you ordered the game physically, you're up to the mercy of your local delivery company. Or you might be lucky enough to have a midnight release in your local area. It's not that common in the UK, so I'll be running to the shops the day of release to hopefully get my order so I can run back and stream it right here on YouTube on release day. I cannot wait. If you haven't bought the game yet, you are probably stuck at the decision of whether you should get Pokemon Scarlet or Pokemon Violet. And I know if you are brand new to the Pokemon franchise, this can be super confusing as to why there's 2 games on sale. Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, for all intensive purposes, are basically the same game. There's minor differences, but the experience will more or less be the same. You basically can't go wrong though, so don't make this out to be a huge decision. Just pick a game which has more of your favorite features. Also, you do not need to worry if you have never played a Pokemon game before. Not only does every single game have its own standalone story, each game also has its own tutorial system at the beginning. So if you're looking to play your first ever Pokemon game, I honestly think this is a great place to start. From what I understand of the game so far is Pokemon Violet is more futuristic themed, while Scarlet is more prehistoric themed. And you can kind of see this in which legendary Pokemon you get. I will butcher these names, I apologize. In Pokemon Violet, you get Miraidon, which is this futuristic looking dragon who actually has the ability to use their wheels. And Scarlet, you get Koraidon, who, runs everywhere. I think that was probably the deciding factor for a lot of people. Do you like the running or do you like the rolling? Another difference between the 2 games is which professor you get. In Scarlet, you get Professor Sada, and in Violet, you get Professor Turo. This may or may not have been my entire deciding factor between the 2 games. I'm getting Scarlet. Now, it is worth noting that in Pokemon Sword and Shield, they also had exclusive gyms to each game. Nothing has been mentioned yet so far about that, but it is just a possibility. And I would kind of love it if they surprised us with that. You also enroll in different academies depending on the version of game you get. So far, there doesn't appear to be many differences between them other than the cosmetics of the uniform though. Now, I have Google translated this before I try and say it, but we're going for it. In Scarlet, you get enrolled in the Naranja Academy, and Violet in the Uva Academy. The final difference between the 2 games is a version-exclusive Pokemon. This means Pokemon you can find in one version of the game and not in the other. These are kind of important for a number of reasons. First of all, you will need the version exclusives from the other game to complete your Pokédex. This either means you can buy both versions of the game, or you can trade with someone you already know who has the other version of the game to finish the Pokédex. This is important as if you want to get the shiny charm later on, you need a finished Pokédex, or will probably. That's how it's worked in every other game, so we're kind of assuming that's how it's going to work this time as well. But if you don't want to buy both versions of the game to finish the Pokédex, or you don't know anyone to trade with, don't worry, I've got you covered. I'll leave a link to my Discord down below. You can just join it and trade with whoever you want to finish the decks. The only other reason to be mindful of exclusive Pokemon is if you like shiny hunting in the overworld. You won't be able to do overworld shiny hunts for any Pokemon that isn't in your version of the game. Not a deal breaker, as you can always shiny hunt via the egg method, just something to bear in mind. Whilst we're on the topic of shinies, it's probably worth pointing out that from what we've seen so far, it doesn't look like there will be a single shiny animation in the overworld. No sound, no sparkles, nothing. This isn't as much of an issue for shinies with big color differences, but the subtle shinies are going to be missed so often. There is some good news though if you use the Let's Go mechanic, which is where you yeet your Pokemon out and they go battle by themselves. They will not battle a shiny Pokemon. It does look as though the shiny animation will probably be in the actual battling mechanics though. The Scarlet exclusives that we know for sure, spoiler free, are Armorogue, which is a new Pokemon, Larvitar and each one of its evolutions, and Stonejourner. And in Violet, it's Saluge, Bagon, and all of its evolutions, and Ice-Cube. Another cool thing that they recently introduced was what we assumed to be a prehistoric version of Donphan called Great Tusk, which you will only find in Scarlet, and a future form in Violet called Iron Treads. This was also a big deciding factor for me. I'm Team Fluffy versus Team Metal, and if there's any chance they do this with other Pokemon, I will definitely prefer the Fluffy version versus the futuristic version. Now we'll talk about everything you need to know about multiplayer. The first thing to bear in mind is if you want to do online stuff, you're going to need Nintendo Switch Online. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like buying this game is going to come with a week free, although they may announce this later on. But if you want to trade with anyone online, or you want to take part in the raid battles which we're about to cover, or play with your friends online, unless you're doing local multiplayer, you're gonna need Nintendo Switch Online to participate. And just a reminder, if money is tight and you can find up to 4 friends, you can buy the family version and all 4 of you get it for a reduced price. There's 2 different aspects of online multiplayer in this game. There are raid dens, and also running around in the world together, both with a total of 4 people. Let's first talk about the raid dens. These were explained to us in the trailer, and these are ways to get terastallized, or as I like to call them, Swarovski crystal Pokemon. Now, although this might not be the only way you can get terastallized Pokemon, we learned from the trailer that the same Pokemon can have different Terra types, some rarer than others, and I think it's safe to assume most of the rare types will probably be found in raid dens. For those unfamiliar with raids, it's basically where you and 3 other people take on a very powerful Pokemon. If you defeat it, you then throw a ball with a chance of catching it at the end. And if this is anything like Sword and Shield, there will be Pokemon with different difficulty levels. After we watched the weird music trailer with Ed Sheeran, Pokemon released news about their first ever raid den event, the Charizard Terra Raid Battle. This is pretty cool as you won't actually be able to catch Charizard in the game whatsoever, so this will be your only chance. And not only that, but Charizard will have the Dragon Terra type. The event is being held between the 1st and 4th of December, and then again on December the 15th to 18th. And this will happen from 4 PM and ending at 3:59 PM PST. It's kind of a weird choice of dates though, because if you get the game for Christmas, you've literally missed out. On the website, it says to enter these dens, you will need to find black crystals, but these will only appear after you've done certain events in the post-game. So you're going to have to get pretty far into the game to be able to participate in even the first raid den very fast. So I guess it comes as good news that you can't soft reset for a shiny starter at the beginning of the game. It's already been announced that they are shiny locked, but you can shiny hunt for them later on, just not right at the start. I'm kind of happy about that because sometimes I fall into the trap of maybe I should just do one more restart just to see if it'll be shiny, and 6 hours later I'm still restarting. Okay, for this next part I should probably say I wasn't actually given early access to the game. So all the info I've gathered for this part is from Twitter, specifically from Philly Beatsu. They've confirmed that even while you're playing multiplayer, you can still go and do the story, which I think is amazing, as you can literally play the story together. Normally, if you're playing Pokemon together, you're just sat next to each other playing at the same pace, but now you can experience it actually in the same place together in-game. The other cool part though is if a shiny Pokemon spawns, you can both see it. This gives a whole new meaning to the word shiny race, and I cannot wait to see what fun's to be had shiny hunting together with other people. I'll be streaming this on Friday, so I can't wait to see you there. And if you want to see my favorite games on the Nintendo Switch ever, click this button right here. I'll see you next time. Bye.